Video brought to you by Green Lamb Laminates. Viewers, we're going to begin with some strong words tonight. So pay close attention, viewers, close attention. A veritable fraud. Yes, a veritable fraud is being committed upon the people of our nation. And if we need to find evidence for this, we need not look further than the utterances of the members of the largest anti-BJP coalition at this moment, viewers. Indeed, India Bloc members are coming out one by one and saying that the grouping was only ever constituted to stop Narendra Modi. That in effect, there was never any larger purpose. The admissions have been made barely 6 months, just about 6 months after the Lok Sabha elections, in which the India Bloc, remember viewers, campaigned on the higher principle of saving Bharat's secular fabric, the constitutionally guaranteed commitment to fraternity and of course democracy. It was not just about keeping Modi out of power. It was about securing the soul of this nation. That's what they told us. But to put it bluntly, viewers, the admissions by India Bloc members themselves, the accusations that they are making against each other by themselves, seem to confirm that the India Bloc never really stood for any of these high principles and that their only goal was acquiring power, stopping Modi, seeing the back of him, sending him home. Now sample this from Rahul Gandhi, who while campaigning in Delhi just yesterday and today, says there's no difference between the AAP, major alliance partner, and the BJP's lead campaigner Narendra Modi, who the India Bloc was fighting just 6 months ago. He said there is no difference between these two. No difference between Kejriwal, no difference between Narendra Modi. Viewers, if he knew this, why was he allying with Kejriwal just about 6 months ago, fighting the Lok Sabha elections from the capital? If both of them, according to Rahul Gandhi, were against high values like integrity, constitutionalism, democracy, then viewers, why was he aligning with one half of them, i.e. Kejriwal? Who was he fooling? Viewers, listen to what Rahul Gandhi said, and let me quote him. When Kejriwal came to power, he said he'd clean Delhi, turn it into Paris and remove corruption. Now you tell me, has corruption decreased? What did Modi and Kejriwal say? That they will ensure a reduction in inflation. Has inflation reduced? Just like Modi ji makes false promises and propaganda one after the other, Kejriwal also has the same strategy. There is no difference. Rahul Gandhi went on to add, viewers, look at Delhi, the shining Delhi, the Delhi of Paris. Everywhere the situation is the same, unquote. And he even goes, viewers, to a particular area where there is an open sewer, and he in fact becomes a citizen journalist and reports from there. Just listen in, viewers.
Paris जैसी दिल्ली है, सब जगह यही हाल है. देखो दिल्ली, देखो चमकती हुई दिल्ली है. पेरिस जैसी दिल्ली है, सब जगह यही हाल है.
Now viewers, this doesn't sound like an alliance partner. This sounds like a person who has it out for Kejriwal. The irony is that he claims to have been Kejriwal's dearest friend, a fellow traveller in the war against the BJP and Prime Minister Modi, who was wrecking the constitution. Viewers, 6 months. The only thing that has changed, viewers, now is that they're all at some level or the other fighting for the same throne. So they've forgotten Maryada, they've forgotten coalition dharma, they've forgotten just about every principle. This is a stunning admission by Rahul Gandhi, and it gets worse. In response, the AAP, Delhi former Chief Minister Kejriwal, the supremo of the AAP, has hit back at the Congress, hit back at Rahul Gandhi, accusing it of being in cahoots with the BJP all along. In fact, he uses the phrase for years. Now, viewers, think about it. Think about it. For years, he says they have been in cahoots with each other. This is what Mr. Kejriwal said, and I quote him, Rahul Gandhi has abused me, but I will not comment on his remarks. His fight is to save the Congress. My fight is to save the country. I said just one line about Rahul Gandhi and the response is coming from the BJP. Look how much trouble the BJP is facing. Perhaps this Delhi election will expose the jugalbandi going on behind the scenes between Congress and BJP for years. Unquote. The point is, if the AAP and the Congress knew such incriminating information about each other, why did they forego the India alliance in the first place? And even if they did, why did they lie to the people of India about its commitment to upholding higher principles like constitutionalism and democracy? And it isn't just the AAP and the Congress that are blowing the India Bloc's cover. Sharad Pawar, Sanjay Rawat of the Shiv Sena UBT and even Umar Abdullah are pointing out the inconsistencies, the contradictions and even the less than honourable motives for which the India Alliance came together. Here's what Sharad Pawar said, and he said, and I quote, when the India Alliance was formed, the discussion was only about national issues and elections. There was no discussion about local body polls or state assembly elections, unquote. Sanjay Rawat, UBT, Shiv Sena says we all need to compromise sometimes. When we were with the NDA, then it was the BJP's responsibility to take everyone along, and in the India Alliance, this is Congress's responsibility. There should be constant communication, otherwise alliances won't last for long, unquote. Umar Abdullah, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister says, and I quote, I cannot say anything about this because we have nothing to do with Delhi elections. And he's referring to the constant infighting between the Congress and the AAP. He goes on to say, AAP, Congress and the other parties on the ground must decide how to combat the BJP. As far as I remember, there was no time limit to the India Alliance. Unfortunately, no India Alliance meeting is being organized, so there is no clarity about leadership, agenda or our existence. They should wind up the alliance in case it was just for the parliament elections, unquote. Of course, he said this a few days ago. Just yesterday, Umar Abdullah was praising the Prime Minister views for actually instituting democracy and saving it in the Kashmir Valley. The point of difference between the constituents of the India Bloc are now almost irreconcilable, and you know the difference. There are differences over Adani. There are differences over EVMs and alleged EC vote manipulation. The allies are questioning Rahul Gandhi's credentials to lead the India Bloc. All of this prompts big questions. Was the India Bloc a con job on the voter all this while, and especially during the 2024 Lok Sabha election? How is it that parties who knew such incriminating things about each other claimed that they had banded together to save the constitution? If they were so corrupt as they are saying they are now, how could these corrupt parties have come together to save the constitution? Let's ask these questions, viewers. Let's open this up. We have much to glean tonight, and I want to begin very simply with Tehseen Poonawala. And I want to begin by asking you this fundamental question. Tehseen Poonawala, this is a very sad day. India's democracy needs a strong opposition. You, me, the citizens of this country need someone to fight our fight, to hold our government to account when it doesn't deliver the promises that we have asked of it. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying that we expect that from the opposition. The opposition, viewers, and Mr. Tehseen Poonawala today is asking questions of itself, and not just questions anymore. It is making accusations. It is saying you were a chore, you're a thief, you don't ask questions about Adani, you are all in league, you have been in league for years. Now, Tehseen Poonawala, this is a very, very, very open and plain admission that the India Alliance was fooling all of us. That all they were interested in Gaddi, and for the sake of Gaddi, they will abuse each other, they will incriminate each other, they will pull out skeletons from each other's cupboards that even the BJP cannot pull out.
Thank you, Rahul. Happy Makar Sankranti to you, to all
to you
my
too.
fellow panelists, and to all the viewers of
God
CNN
bless.
News 18. Thank you. Rahul, there are two aspects to this. One, you can look at it in perspective, like it's done in mature democracies the world over, and India is a mature democracy. For example, let's see, there's a Democrat or a Republican presidential candidate selection. The candidates go up against each other, even though in the same political party. Here, these are different political parties, but they unite for a larger cause, which is, say, the Republican cause or the Democrat cause. That's how democracies work. A man-child, Justin Trudeau's just resigned. And a new toddler his party will have elections to who the new president will be. And there's an Indian origin person, Mr. Arya, fighting. So they will trade accusations, but then you come together for a larger cause. So in states, yes, you do fight against each other. For example, in my city of Pune, and because you have the very erudite NCP spokesperson here, the Congress and the NCP may clash in a few seats, but Anish and I will come together for a larger cause. And I think that is how democracy should work. I think it is sad that it is demonized. You should accept each other. Should there be a Lakshman Rekha on personal attacks? I do believe so. Should Kejriwal ji have been called an anti-national? No. Should the Aam Aadmi Party have cut the Congress in Haryana on 5 seats which the Congress would have won? No. I think those adjustments could be worked out. But this is a new alliance. There will be nuts and bolts to tighten, and I think you can come together.
Sir, these are not bolts and nuts.
For the alliance.
Someone is going nuts within the alliance. And the problem is that they are actually impugning each other's character. One is calling the other a chore. Another one says he can't maintain his promises. A third one says, no, actually the people we are fighting are in bed with us. I don't know if any, yes, there are primaries in America, but I don't know if in the primaries, no, hang on. In the primaries, everyone gets to become a chief minister or a presidential candidate. No, one gets eliminated because the others expose him.
Yes.
Right?
No, but
and that person is on the ticket.
Right, the party.
No, 1 second. That person is on the ticket.
No,
and
that's
he goes.
Not true.
No, and he goes into the darkness. He doesn't come out and contest. He's eliminated. He's eliminated.
Sorry, that's
and
not
no one is fighting.
True.
No, 1 second.
No, that's not completely true.
No, 1 second. And it's left to that person to endorse another person.
That's it. You there.
So I am asking you a very simple question. No, sir.
Please,
you don't need to correct me. Why don't you correct Aam Aadmi Party? Why don't you correct Kishore Tiwari of the UBT? Why don't you correct Anish Gawande of the NCP Sena, NCP Sharad Pawar unit? Go out there and correct them. Why correct me? The point is, if Rahul Gandhi comes out and says that, you see, Arvind Kejriwal is giving a free ride to crony capitalism, that corruption has actually increased, that he's corrupt. And he knew this. Why were they together? Anyhow, let me bring the BJP in. Let's open this up. Let's make it a bit spicy. The BJP will not like this, but let me bring her in. Sanju Verma, how do you respond? Tehseen says, mature up. This is all part and parcel of democratic, yes, interplay. Don't worry about it. You worry about your election and how you will convince the voter that you're the best party. How do you respond to this?
Rahul, I'm so acclimatized to BJP versus all, Sanju Verma versus all, that I always say, bring it on. I really couldn't care less if there are 20 people on the other side. But on a more serious note, first let me start with two Hindi lines of a famous kahawat. बर्बाद गुलिस्ता करने को बस एक ही उल्लू काफी था, यहाँ तो हर शाख पे उल्लू बैठा है, अंजामे गुलिस्ता क्या होगा? गलत बात कर रहे हो। अरे भाई साहब, आपका नाम संजू वर्मा नहीं है, शांत हो जाइए, आपकी बारी आएगी, आप बोल लेना किशोर तिवारी जी। किशोर तिवारी जी, आपकी बारी नहीं है, शांत हो जाइए, शांत हो जाइए। थैंक यू। So, Rahul,
Tiwari Saab, I think you have forgotten that you're on CNN News 18. You're not on other channels. जहाँ पर खुली छूट होती है. It's as if people are running into the fields to go and actually poke each other. No, this is not those channels. Relax. I'll come to you, sir. You also have to answer some questions. Don't worry. इतने उतावले मत होइए. Relax. Calm down. We'll all do this one by one. Let's be mature, as Tehseen Poonawala says. He set the tone for this debate. Yes, Sanju Verma, please respond.
Yes. So the reason I read out these lines is that, कि भाई यहाँ पर तो हर डाल पर उल्लू बैठा है। कांग्रेस के पास राहुल गांधी है, आम आदमी पार्टी के पास अरविंद केजरीवाल है, समाजवादी पार्टी के पास अखिलेश यादव है, टीएमसी के पास ममता बनर्जी है। Now I just tell you, without getting into a rigmarole, the Congress party, since the debate started with Tehseen, he should listen to some hard facts. I'm showing him the mirror. some of the high-profile exits from the Congress party in Mumbai/Maharashtra in the last couple of months has been Milind Deora, Zishan Siddiqui, Baba Siddiqui, who's no more, Sanjay Nirupam. Then, of course, a year back, you had Ashok Chavan. तो कहने का तात्पर्य ये है, the Congress is a divided house in Maharashtra, and the least they can do is acknowledge it rather than trying to take potshots at the BJP. Now, let me tell one thing very clearly to you, Rahul. Is the ... alliance a divided house? Certainly so. But before coming to that, let me point out something to Tehseen. In Rajasthan, for the longest time, you've had Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot. In Chhattisgarh, you've had Bhupesh Baghel versus T.S. Singhdio. In Maharashtra, within the Congress party, you've had Nana Patole versus Bhai Jagtap versus Prithviraj Chavan versus Varsha Gaikwad, and Varsha Gaikwad versus Aslam Sheikh. So, Tehseen, you're the last person who should be sitting and waxing eloquent about maturity, because your leaders in Maharashtra are behaving like a bunch of juveniles. That is my second point. My third point is this. I've always said, and I will not get tired of repeating this ad nauseum, that the ... alliance never had a common minimum agenda or a political program to offer to the people. Be it Akhilesh Yadav, who said, "Arey, ye Kamal Nath kaun hai?" Or Ajay Rai of the Congress, who said, "Arey, ye Ram Gopal Yadav kaun hai?" To Mamata Banerjee, not willing to give more than 2 seats in Lok Sabha 2024 to the Congress. To the Akhilesh Yadav acolytes who were not willing to give
the point being
Phulpur, Majwan and Mirpur to the Congress, so much so that the Congress had to withdraw from the 7 bypolls that were held a couple of months back. My limited point is this.
Yes.
When you do not have a common minimum agenda and the only binding glue is the visceral hatred for Narendra Modi, then the alliance starts to unravel. And that is exactly what is happening.
So now, but Sanju Verma, do me one favor, and I only want a very, very yes or no answer. Put your hand on your heart like I am doing. Just look at me. You put your hand here, please, for 30 seconds, and you tell me, are you today with Tiwari sir behind the scenes? Are you the BJP and Shiv Sena UBT behind the scenes together? Yes or no? Because Rahul Gandhi is convinced you are. Arvind Kejriwal is convinced you are. So you have to answer the nation. I am not asking this question. Your opponents are asking these questions of their friend. Tiwari Saab, also you put your hand here. I'll come to you. Please tell me.
Okay. You know, Rahul, ahead of the Maharashtra elections, I was on various debates with Mr. Kishore Tiwari, and he would take pot shots at me because he knows I'm currently in the United States. He would say Sanju Verma is the international spokesperson, but the limited answer to your question is no. No. No.
No.
No is what you're getting from me.
Kishore ji, I have to ask you this question because, you know, this is a comment that Sanjay Rao ji has made. And you know, Mr. Gawande is also here with us, very young, very bright and very forthright spokesperson.
Very smart.
Yeah, Tiwari Sahab, you know, he says that the Congress is not being responsible. There should be constant communication. This is not right. When you attack the AAP, we are in it to defeat the BJP, and therefore you should have supported the AAP in Delhi. But the Congress is not doing it. The Congress is, in fact, going out of its way to call Kejriwal a chore and saying that for years altogether they are in league. Kejriwal is returning that favor. So, Mr. Tiwari, I want to ask you, sir, and please be honest tonight. Put your hand here on your heart and you have to tell me. Sir,
we are always honest.
Have you, I am always honest. Sir, hard facts. Are you today taking the people for a ride? Please, just be honest. Yes. Tiwari Sahab, can you hear me?
यार क्या मैं जवाब दे सकता हूं भैया?
Please.
देखिए मैं दे रहा हूं आपका जवाब. मैं कह रहा हूं संजू, ये हमारे घर की लड़ाई है. तुम कहाँ यहाँ कूद पड़ के इतनी खुशी मना रही हो. लेकिन मैं एक बात कहता हूं राहुल, जब अजय माखन ने गाली दी केजरीवाल को, फर्जीवाल कहा, कुछ कहा, फिर संदीप दीक्षित ने कहा, देशद्रोही ये वो। और उसके बाद अलका लामा तो कह रही थी, हमें लगा कि राहुल जी आने के बाद ये सब बातें रुक जाएगी, पर कल राहुल गांधी ने जब अपने स्पीच में कहा कि मोदी जी और केजरीवाल में फर्क नहीं, ये नहीं वो नहीं, तो हम बहुत आहत हुए। देखिए, राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर हम चाहते हैं कि कांग्रेस या प्रमुख विपक्ष पक्ष बने। राहुल गांधी को हमने प्राइम मिनिस्टर बोल के प्रोजेक्ट किया, लेकिन जब तमिलनाडु आता है तो स्टेलिन साहब है, बंगाल आता है तो दीदी है, यूपी आता है तो अखिलेश है, और झारखंड है, फिर तेजस्वी यादव का दौर है बिहार में, और महाराष्ट्र में उद्धव जी का दौर है। लेकिन इन्होंने ऐसा नहीं किया। इन्होंने हमारे वक्त भी बहुत गड़बड़ की, लेकिन अब
गड़बड़ ओ माय गॉड। तिवारी साहब जब इतनी गड़बड़ हो गई है तो आई वांट टू आस्क यू, आपका तो फिर अलायंस डिस्क्रेडिटेड है।
अरे मैं
बिकॉज आप सब तो लोग बीजेपी को जितवाने में लगे हुए हैं, एंड इफ दैट इज द केस,
अरे नहीं, मेरी बात,
दैट इज अ फ्रॉड ऑन द पीपल, यस और नो?
देखिए, दिल्ली का चुनाव अरविंद केजरीवाल का रेफरेंडम है कि उन्होंने 10 साल में अच्छा काम किया, ये नहीं किया। जब हमने कांग्रेस को पूरी स्पेस दी, उनके 99 एमपी चुन के आए, उसमें 72 एमपी हमारे भरोसे चुन के आए। लेकिन इन्होंने जब दिल्ली में समय आया तो इन्होंने राहुल गांधी भी गाली देने लगे।
Oh my God. Viewers, now this is live television. This is live. This is happening at prime time. Mr. Tiwari exposing the Congress duplicity. It's Janus faced. देखिए, आपके खिलाफ भी क्या बोला उन्होंने कि सावरकर जो आपकी पार्टी के आइकॉन हैं, वो एक कायर हैं, कावर्ड, एंड यू वर वेरी अपसेट. आई नो यू वर वेरी अपसेट, तिवारी साहब. उद्धव जी वॉज वेरी अपसेट.
मैं बात कर लूं ना, एक बात मैं करता हूं. राहुल, मैंने तुम्हारी किताब पढ़ी, बहुत अच्छा रेफरेंसेस किया आपने और बहुत पढ़ाई भी की, मैं तुमको अभिनंदन देता हूं. लेकिन अब मुझे बताइए, 25 में तहसीन, तुम बताओ, 25 में महंगाई से लड़ना है, तहसीन ये टैक्स टेरिफ से लड़ना है, ये आगे 1920 में और 21 में चले जाते हैं, कभी कभी तो 1640 में चले जाते हैं. अरे राहुल गांधी को तहसील संभालो यार, कहो उनको कि उनको बहुत विपक्ष के नेता है, भारत का नेतृत्व करने के लिए वो तैयार हो जाए.
Well, viewers, look at what Mr. Tiwari is saying. He's counseling Rahul Gandhi to become a credible leader of the opposition. So for 6 months we haven't had credible leader of the opposition. Karan Verma and Mr. Gawande come in. Let's open this up. Let's get everybody in.
Sure.
They've also made time. And Mr. Gawande, I have to ask you, very responsible young man. Karan Verma, be ready to respond. Gawande Sahab, is Adani an issue? Is he the fountainhead of crony capitalism? Is he selling the country's resources in cahoots with Mr. Modi?
You know, Rahul, to start off with, you know, we've had this discussion before, and IMPs have raised this issue before as well, where there are ways in which the India Alliance comes together on some issues, and on some issues
this is a fundamental issue. That's why I'm bringing it up, because this is the leading edge of the wedge, and you are making, through this Adani-Modani connection, you are calling into question the Prime Minister's integrity, right? This is not some flimsy issue. This is a very major issue. Very major issue. The Prime Minister started his electoral journey towards Delhi by promising, na main khaunga, na main khane dunga. So you are hitting him where it hurts the most. Now I'm asking you, is Adani the crook the Congress make him out to be? And
no, I think the problem is not with Adani. Right? The problem is with the lack of due process being followed across multiple corruption allegations across this country.
But this is not what Rahul Gandhi says. Rahul Gandhi made this election, the last election, made every election, even the Maharashtra election was Modani. So if you also don't believe that it is about Adani, neither did Sharad Pawar. In fact, Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar were all sitting in one room, according to their own recollection. and
But
working out
we
deals.
don't make this personal, yeah, Rahul. Like, quite honestly, Mr. Pawar has been very transparent and open about the fact
that's what I'm saying.
that he's had a relationship with Mr. Adani since long
So that's
before
what I'm
even
saying.
Prime
So
Minister
that is
Modi
exactly
came into
what I'm
power.
saying. So if he thinks
but
he's
it's
kosher,
about institutions. No, let me talk about institutions, right? When there are multiple scams about potholes in Mumbai that go unaddressed, and when you have roads being filled day after day, and no answers being given, that's what we have a problem with.
Rahul.
But
When
that is not how it
extends
came
to
through.
certain
You know that.
institutions like the
Rahul
SEBI,
Gandhi doesn't
that's
talk
what we have
about
a
the
problem
larger
with. But
issues. He says that at the base of all corruption in the BJP is Adani. And Karan Verma, am I wrong? Am I cooking up some stories here?
Rahul, today Rahul Gandhi has got the Congress to a position where they are like a ship without a rudder and everyone is asking them to make way. किशोर जी ने कह दिया यहाँ से चले जाओ. यूपी में बाय इलेक्शंस में अखिलेश यादव जी ने कह दिया आप हट जाओ यहाँ से. Now Kejriwal is saying leave Delhi. What is left of the Congress party? I mean, they need to grow a spine and they need to come up with a coherent ideology. Simply shouting Adani or caste census or random things, it doesn't get you anywhere. Tehseen started by saying Lakshman Rekha. That Lakshman Rekha has been crossed long time by Arvind Kejriwal. What did he do? He gobbled up the Congress in Delhi. The personal allegations that he leveled against Sheila Dikshit about Sonia Gandhi, what did he say when the National Herald thing was happening? He said, इनको जेल में डालो, 4 दिन में लोग सब सही हो जाएंगे, सब कुछ बोल देंगे. The kind of language he used for late Dr. Manmohan Singh. He said, Britishers से ज़्यादा तो इनकी सरकार ने खाया हुआ था. That is the kind of language is used, and the Congress party, Anil Kumar Chaudhary, by the way, on 3rd June 2022, was the first person, the Congress state adhyaksh, to file a complaint against the liquor scam. Iski wajah se Kejriwal jail mein gaye eventually. So, I mean, the Lakshman Rekhas have been long crossed, the gloves are off. What kind of maturity are we looking at? This is a failed alliance. There is no alliance right now. And there is no ideology that the Congress party has. And in the last, can you imagine this, Rahul? 15 years of governance. And there were some good things that happened during Sheila Dikshit's time. Let's be honest. And after that, you draw a knot in 2 successive elections. That speaks of, that speaks volumes about what Rahul Gandhi has reduced the Congress party to and where Delhi Congress is today. Nowhere will you find such an example that after 15 years of governance, you are reduced to 0. So they really need to introspect, and even their alliance partners are now asking them to introspect. That's the pitiable situation Congress and the opposition today.
So Tehseen Poonawalla and Sanju Verma, let me bring them in. Tehseen Poonawalla, let me ask you, how is it that parties who knew such incriminating things about each other, how did they come together in 2024, knowing that they were actually at the heart of it all compromised? Isn't that, sir, lying to the public? Isn't that a breach of trust? It's a simple question.
The exact same way the BJP and the PDP came together and then they decided that, hey, this is not working out and they broke.
So the BJP got punished. It didn't get one seat in the Kashmir Valley. So are you justifying the fact that the Congress is not getting seats because people have recognized, especially in Maharashtra, that they were conning the people? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the absolute opposite. In Maharashtra and in other places, there have been situations where the alliance has been attacked by members of the alliance itself, which I think the language must be civil and polite. That's what I'm talking about. As so far as, please allow me, as so far as issues are concerned, you raise the issue of Mr. Adani, the industrialist. It is a structural issue that the India Alliance is raising. That's even been raised by the Shiv Sena out here. Even the Shiv Sena UBT, Aditya Thackeray is raising that issue. The issues of structural issues. You may have a personal relationship with somebody. Did Mr. Sharad Pawar give Mr. Adani a port? No, he didn't. Did he allow him to get money? So those allegations are structural issues.
The left has given Mr. Adani a port.
And the BJP opposed it.
No,
and the BJP protested against it.
That tells you. What does that tell you?
The BJP is as much as a hypocrite
What does
as
that tell
everyone
you?
else.
What does that tell you? It tells you that the
but
BJP clearly is not in any unholy alliance with Mr. Adani. If they can oppose his business interests, if they can hurt him to that extent, then you're proving the point. So, Tehseen, I think you jumped the gun there.
No,
My point is not this. Just 30 seconds, please, just answer this.
But allow me to respond.
When Rahul Gandhi comes and he says that, you see, Kejriwal promised he would remove corruption, but he is corrupt. That he said that honesty will prevail, but he's a jhootha. These are his words, quote unquote. He'll clean Delhi, etc., etc. That there is no difference between him and Modi. If he knew this for years altogether, as he says, then what is he tying up with him for and going back to the people of Delhi?
I would like to answer that, but before that, let me just clarify one thing. Ports are a union subject. States have a limited role, so the state played. Please, come on, Rahul. That's so unfair.
Let's not
Rahul, that
paper
is so
over all
unfair.
this. You can't.
I will not allow you to paper over me and make an incoherent.
I'm not.
argument.
You're constantly clutching at straws. I'm asking you. It's a
BJP
much more
state
fundamental
unit was
question. It's a fundamental question, sir.
May I come
You
in?
raised the issue.
Mr.
of
Gehlot
Adani.
did
I
business with Mr. Adani. What are you talking about? We can
Mr.
add
there-
nauseam, I can
is there-
pull out.
Is there been allegations
to
of
come
that
in
that
here,
have been
Rahul.
raised by the
That
US
there are
agencies?
allegations. You are making the allegations which are clearly
No, the US
which are
agencies
clearly
have made the
fallacious. So it
allegations.
doesn't matter who makes the allegation, show the proof. Anyhow, very quickly,
And
Sanju
the
Verma
the
needs to
US
come in.
clearly
Gawande
did.
Saab is also
the
there.
government
Yes.
refused to investigate.
Okay.
May I please?
Viewers, you didn't hear the
Rahul.
answer to my question. My question was pointed. If you know so much about each other, if you know that you're corrupt, if you know that you are a liar, if you know fundamentally that
If
you
you
will
know
not
Nitish
deliver on
Ji's
any of your
DNA is
promises,
not
why are
good?
you tying
Why
up
do you
with that
ally with
person?
Nitish Ji?
Who are you
You know, I
fooling?
need to make
Are you
my
fooling
point
yourself
now.
or are you fooling the public?
Was
Viewers,
Modi
that
ji
was the
Nitish Ji
answer
fooling the
that I
people of
sought.
Bihar in
Tell
India?
me. Anyhow.
Was Nitish Ji
Rahul,
Modi ji
Okay.
fooling the
Mr.
people of
Verma,
India?
Miss Verma,
Testing,
Miss
please.
Verma. Miss
Thank you.
Verma.
Rahul, I've heard Tehseen very patiently. Please, Tehseen, now let me have my say.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me make this very clear. I'm tired of listening to this on television debates that, during Sheila Dikshit's time, Delhi had a great run in terms of governance. No. The CWG, Commonwealth Games of 2010, don't forget, they were supposed to be organized for 296 crores. Finally, the estimate worked out to 28,000 crores.
We all know the
People
history.
Like Suresh Kalmadi were, can I finish, Rahul? Please. People like Suresh Kalmadi, Rajkumar Chauhan, and Lalit Bhanot were arrested. So Sheila Dikshit, if not herself corrupt, actually ran an entire party which was full of people with too many shady deals behind her back, which were being done with brazen impunity. So let's not make Sheila Dikshit out to be holier than thou. The Commonwealth Games will remain as one big
Sure,
blot
that's
on
all
her
history. What is the
record.
point?
Now let me come to the moot point, please, very quickly in 30 seconds. Adani. Arey bhai sahab, 1993 mein, the central government was that of the Congress party. The chief minister in Gujarat was of the Congress party. 1 minute, Rahul, don't get impatient. A man called Chiman Bhai Patel. And the Congress party gave Adani land for Mundra port at 10 rupees per square meter. And आज ये लोग यहाँ बैठकर
ठीक है, hypocrites.
नरेंद्र मोदी को
My
भाषण
question
देते
is,
हैं।
Mr. Gawande, if all of you know each other's foibles, as they say, if you all know each other's skeletons that are rotting in your cupboards, should you have come together? And now that you have exposed each other, should you disband? Should you,
This is the
as
question.
Omar Abdullah
This
says,
is a-
wind up?
No. Rahul, this is a question that the NDA should ask itself and look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same NDA that called the NCP the naturally corrupt party took Ajit Dada into the alliance not soon after. That same Ajit Dada is fighting against them in Delhi
Okay.
for the state elections.
So, ठीक है, if the other
same
side
NDA
does
that
it,
took
we
the
will
NPP
follow
The
suit.
same NDA that took the NPP into their alliance,
Okay.
the NPP is withdrawing from the alliance after Manipur.
Okay, fair
The
enough.
same
Mr.
NDA that
Gawande's
has
response,
Apnadal
viewers, tonight
Sonilal
is...
has the Apnadal Sonilal saying that
Sure,
Yogi
I
ji
got
is
it, I
not-
understand.
Yogi
Lots
ji
of
is our leader.
contradictions,
So-
lots of compromises made by the BJP, etc., etc. So, Mr.
No,
Gawande,
those
what you're
living
telling
in
me...
glass houses
So,
can't
so
throw
you're...
stones,
Fair
Rahul.
enough. But here,
Who
it's
gave
not...
the big
No, one
vote to
second.
Adani in February
Here,
2021?
viewers, it is not
Who
the
gave the
opposition.
big
One
vote
second,
to
please.
Adani in February
Sanju Verma, I have to
2021?
move on, but I just want to say one thing. You see, he says those that live in glass houses should not throw stones at each other. Here, viewers, the stones are being thrown at each other by each other. In the India Alliance, no one is throwing stones from outside. And therefore, I'm asking viewers, only best friends know each other's foibles. Now, the best friends are all squealing on each other. So why don't you just wind up? Because every time you now go back to the public asking for their vote as a platform, as India Alliance, people will say, but hang on, all of you are corrupt. There's a credibility crisis, viewers, staring at the heart of the India Alliance. Beware. I want to move on, viewers, because there is a very significant statement that has been made. Now, I could have chosen, viewers, to politicize this, to bring the opposition in, to have really a punch-up tonight, but I'm not going to do that. We have to understand where the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat is coming from. What is he trying to say? He has claimed that India achieved, quote, true independence, unquote, on the consecration day of the Ram temple in Ayodhya, which was January 22nd, 2024, which is last year, almost to the day. Speaking at an event in Indore, Bhagwat said the consecration day should be celebrated as Pratishtha Dwadashi, symbolizing the establishment of India's sovereignty after centuries of parachakra, of foreign invasion. In other words, 15th August 1947 was not the day India achieved independence. It was the day Ram Mandir was consecrated in Ayodhya a year ago. The mega consecration of Pran-Pratishtha event of Ram Lalla's idol in Ayodhya, as I told you, was conducted on January 22nd, 2024, led by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The first anniversary of the event was observed on January 11 this year, according to the Hindu lunar calendar. Now listen very carefully to Bhagwat's views on this issue and what he believes it marks. Very saliently, listen it.
भारत का स्व मर जाए, भारत का स्व अपनी गर्दन ऊंची न कर सके, इसलिए तो मंदिरों के विध्वंस हो गए। हम 47 में स्वतंत्र हुए, हमारे साथ इसराइल चला, हमारे साथ जापान ने चलना प्रारंभ किया, वो कहाँ के कहाँ पहुंच गए। हम पूरा समय लोगों के रोजी रोटी की ही चिंता करते रहे, समाजवाद वगैरह वगैरह सारी बातें करते हैं, गरीबी हटाओ वगैरह सारे नारे देते हैं। कुछ हुआ क्या? रोजी भारत की रोजी रोटी का भी रास्ता राम मंदिर के प्रवेश द्वार से जाता है, ये ध्यान रखो।
Now viewers, you heard what Mohan Bhagwat has said. He's very clearly come out and made this very important statement that fundamentally India won its independence, that the soul of the Hindu long suppressed found relief or release, that the soul of the country emerged on the day the Ram Mandir was consecrated a year back. Now this is the same Mohan Bhagwat who has come out and said also a few days back, viewers, that if we look constantly back in time and keep picking at the wounds of Hindus by reclaiming, for example, the desecrated symbols of their heritage, that won't be good, that we should not do that. So let's try and put into context today's remarks and what in fact Mr. Bhagwat has said a few days ago. How does this interplay? How do both of these things come together? Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, who is an author who has written extensively on the RSS, is going to be with us. Arun Anand, author and columnist, is also going to be with us. There, in fact, is Mr. Mukhopadhyay. Arun Anand, author and columnist, somebody who knows the RSS inside out, also with us. Now, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, I have to ask you this question because it really will help us decode what Mr. Bhagwat is saying. Now, are Mr. Bhagwat's statements an acknowledgement of the trials and tribulations of a Hindu soul long suppressed? Some people are saying it is, that he is trying to only tell us that there is a history and Hindu heritage of this country was in fact vandalized greatly. Do you see this as that? Where do you think he's coming from?
First of all, thank you very much for getting me on this program on a fairly important turn in this entire debate, which has been going on for the last 4.5 decades in India. Mr. Mohan Bhagwat, these are my first comments, that with this statement, he doesn't make any friends on any side. People who are opposed to the idea of Hindu nationalism, of Hindu cultural nationalism, politics, of Ram Mandir, they are going to say that why stop at the Ram Mandir? Why not the others? So he is reiterating in a way what he said some few days ago, that you don't have to keep on finding mosques which need to be converted into temples, what they were at some point. This is something which has been going on. On the other side, those who are opposed to Hindu nationalistic politics, they are going to say that how can anything else become bigger or more important than the independence of India? How can the 22nd of January be more important than 15th of August 1947? So he's going to receive flack from all sides. And this is something which is really going to be problematic. This entire, the statement and the speech which is made, it's nuanced, yes, but he will not find any very many, supporters on either side. And he has been making very complicated and problematic statement since June 4th, when the results of the Lok Sabha elections has come out. So people would try to look at it through the prism of the slight, divergence of tactics and approach which has come about within the Sangh Parivar, especially between the RSS leadership and the BJP leadership, especially the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, because he's the most important and the most towering leader in the BJP. So I see it being looked at from that perspective.
Okay, so are you also suggesting, therefore, that perhaps it's an attempt at damage control for what he has been saying over the last few, in fact, not just in the last few months, but for the last few years? I remember in my book, I had brought out the fact that he had, at one time in an interview to Panjanya, he had come out and said, look, we should not be excavating every mosque looking for the symbols of a long suppressed civilization, Hindu civilization and heritage, because that will lead to further cracks in our society. So are you saying that after those, when he got a lot of sort of backlash from the hard right, he's now trying to balance? Is that what you're saying?
I think, you actually very well reminded people about the old statement which you made several years ago, that you don't have to go about digging every mosque, to look for a shivling. That is the exact statement, which is, in fact, if you go back, Mr. Mohan Bhagwat has been swinging from various statements, since 2015 onwards. I remember, just before the very important Bihar elections in 2015, he'd suddenly come about, also in an interview with Panchayat, he had come about and said that there is a need to relook at the reservation policy, which created a big controversy and eventually was one of the factors why the BJP performed very poorly in the 2015 assembly elections in Bihar.
Yes.
Thereafter, there was damage control, So, and even if you look at in the Mr. Bhagwat statement, I do not want to get into a very narration of various contradictory, self-contradictory at times statement which he's been making. I am really not very sure that what is he really getting at, especially after the 4th of June.
Okay, let me bring in Arun Anand on this. Arun Anand, you're a student also of the Sangh, etc. I want to ask you, today's statement compared with what Bhagwat ji said when he said that Hindus must not recover each and every symbol of their civilization and heritage. How does this sort of now juxtapose with that? What is happening here?
Rahul, thank you for inviting me for the discussion. And Nilanjan has been a good friend, though we have been, having diametrically opposite views. But there are conversations which keep on happening. So I think that is the essence of Sanatan Dharma also. See, you have to understand the philosophical framework of RSS from where all these statements are coming. So once we understand the philosophical framework, so everything will become very clear. See, there are three pillars of this philosophical framework of RSS. The key objective of RSS is to transform the society, and transformation of society means everybody should be able to realize one's best potential. The second pillar is that RSS is not an organization within the society. It is just organizing the society. The third pillar is basically that when the society is transformed, then RSS should vanish and nobody should even mention the name of the RSS, because it is RSS. It is not RSS which has organized the society. And the last one, which is very important, is that RSS believes that there are two categories of people in the society. One are those who have joined the RSS, and the other category is that which is ultimately going to join the RSS. So RSS is Ajat Shatru. Now coming to these statements about temples and mosques. You see, RSS, the general perception is that RSS sets an agenda, then it mobilizes the society on that. But contrary to that, RSS sees what is the mood of the society, and then RSS takes up basically that agenda. For example, just to give a small example, that in 1959 the RSS passed its first resolution on one of the temples, that was
Right.
that Kashi Vishwanath temple should be restored.
Let
But it
me
ultimately took up the movement of Ram Janmabhoomi in 1980s, because that was the mood of the society.
Okay, so they are going by the mood of the society. Let's not read too much into this, says Mr. Arun Anand. Well, let's move on, viewers, because I have a very special guest tonight. And we are going to be speaking to Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. Despite the biting cold, it appears that a sea of faith was lapping the holy ground of Prayagraj. Over 3.5 crore devotees, including seers and saints from different akharas, took the holy dip at the Sangam, the confluence of the Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati rivers. It happened on Makar Sankranti, and I want to bring in Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji, and I want to ask him a little bit about the events that we are seeing unfolding before us. Sri Sri ji, I don't know if you're familiar, but this Maha Kumbh is the most trending subject across the globe. From Pakistan, UAE, America, Australia, people are very curious about this massive outpouring of Sanatan Dharma values. So I want to ask you, why are people coming from such far locations to this place? What is it about this Maha Kumbh that is attracting so many people, the curiosity of so many people?
Kumbh is the spiritual glory of Sanatan Dharma. And it showcases like nowhere else on the planet, where the believer and the siddhas, those who have perfected the art of spirituality, have all assembled in one place. It happens once in 12 years. And it's a cultural, spiritual event. Of course, the world is looking for such an event. And when so many people are coming, the logistics which has been made, provided by the government there, both central and the state government, the arrangement that has been made is stupendous. I mean, this is something of a case study for the world. The world is at awe in seeing the capability of India to conduct a program like this with such ease.
Sri Sri ji, what is the overall significance of Amrit Snan that took place today? Can you help us locate it?
See, the two rivers, Ganga and Jamuna, signifies, one is knowledge. Ganga signifies knowledge. Yamuna signifies love and devotion. When they two merge, then Saraswati, the awareness, pragya, who is the symbol of pragya, that automatically, which is not seen, but it is there. And this confluence of Triveni is where it's an internal process. It's something that is happening in a human being, where the Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, the three nadis merge, where the immortality comes up. Means that is, one feels one's ethereal presence of spirit within themselves. And Kumbh Snan is said that our sins are just only superficial. We always say Shivoham, we are Brahmoham, Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. These are the highest values of spirituality, in which we say that taking a dip in Kumbh, all the sins are gone and everyone becomes so pure and connected to the divinity. And that is the Amrit Snan. In the Amrit Kal of our nation, this Amrit Snan being organized very well has made people come there easily, because they see there are so many transportation, and the trains have been started. So people are quite happy to go. Seamless arrangements have made it much easier for people to come. And scientifically they say, when you do something with tapas, that means with hardship, you endure hardship, the fruit of it is definitely much larger than what you can ever think of. So that's a place for tapas, so people come and they do tapas.
Now, over the years, Shrishi ji, the number of people who have come to the Maha Kumbh or even the Kumbhs that take place have increased exponentially, especially after Yogi Adityanath ji came to power, etc., etc. How is it that there has been this upsurge?
There is a saying, Yatha Raja Tata Praja. Like the leader of the society, he is, investing faith, and he is making arrangements, giving people that much needed support for their faith. People do have faith, but for them to go to a place, they were not sure, about the logistics. Now with this beautiful arrangements that the government has made and which has been brought to through media to them, it has encouraged people to express their faith and go with that.
Shrishi, some people have been saying that, look, these are resources, very important resources that are being spent. 4,000 crores is one number that has been thrown up there. They could have been used to feed people, to give them bread, etc., etc. Why do we need to organize all of this with state money, etc., etc.? How do you respond to those people?
I think they are not good economists. You see how much money all these functions bring. Religion and spirituality are a big supporter of economy. They don't drain economy. Anywhere in the world, festivities always increase the business and bring more prosperity to people. Look at the charities that is being done there. Every mutt, every sant is having a tent. They are giving free food to people. Food is being supplied. Clothes are being given. This is a place for dan punya. So this is very much part of our culture. They think, let a few feeding poor, that's what is happening there exactly. Or people who have never came out of their villages, who are whether poor or rich, they all come there, and people are helping them to come and have a wonderful time. This is a strength, show of unity of different paths and sampradayas of Hindu
So
culture.
how do you respond to all of those people who say that this is a Hindu revivalism that we are witnessing, and this Hindu revivalism poses a threat now to others in this country, in this secular country, who will find themselves disenfranchised, etc., etc., under governments who patronize this kind of, you know the arguments. Yeah.
See, the people have many different rhetoric, and I don't respond to those things. I don't even answer those things. Many of them are not worth even responding. That's all foolish. As you said, they are spending so much money, but they are bringing in so much money to the state.
Now this is a quest. This is a quest for salvation also. You talked a little bit about cleansing, etc. Now, just help us understand why people make this journey.
Well, why should they not make when they see that there is a confluence of faith and traditions, and it has been a matter of faith from the ancient ages. From ages, people, their parents have done it. Why would they not go? Everybody, whatever caste they are from, or whatever they are, faith or whatever sampradaya they have been following, they've all come together. This is the only place that you can see the emergence of the expression of the faith that they have in their in their lives.
Shrishi ji, thank you very much for speaking to me. Thank you very much for taking the time out at this late hour. That has been extremely good of you to put this event into perspective for all of us. Viewers, all that you saw today, of course, was a sea of humanity and we're being told that 3.6 crore people, now just put that into perspective in numbers terms, that's half the population of Britain, turning up on one day. Imagine the logistics involved in running an operation of this scale. Daily, they're expecting more than 1.5 crore people. And over 45 days, they're expecting somewhere in the region of 40 to 45 crores people. And they are all of the opinion, at least the UP government and others from the trade associations, etc., who are saying that this kind of huge outpouring of spirituality, etc., is not without attendant consequences, because there will be a boost, long-term boost, to the economic prospects. And by pulling this off, by making this event a grand success, you're inspiring confidence in hundreds and thousands of other devotees to take pride not only in their own customs, but also show up and honor those customs, which in itself is a long-term compact between people and their traditions and their faiths, and of course, this part of Uttar Pradesh. In fact, if you really now look at the 3 or 4 emerging circuits, you have Prayagraj, you have the Kashi corridor, you also have the Ayodhya corridor, and all of those put together, and I'm only talking about Uttar Pradesh, and that also a certain part of Uttar Pradesh, viewers, will lead to massive developmental activity because of the infusion of capital, as Sri Ji was telling us. I leave it at this, viewers. Thank you for watching. Palki Sharma up next with Advantage. Stay with us.
Presented by
No, I need. Wait.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. We begin with California wildfires. 1 week of devastation and the worst